since Andrew Nabu and Dimi Petratus found the back of the net back in December 2017. 5 wins and a draw since then. Home and away, they've won 6 of the last 7 against the Newcastle Jets. But the Jets have been staying in matches and are feeling very hard done by that results haven't gone their way in recent weeks. Just the one change then for Rob Stanton's Newcastle side. Callum Timmins coming in to replace Clayton Taylor, who was on the score sheet last weekend as the Jets blew a 2-goal lead against Perth. The defence is settled and remains unchanged. Reno Piscopo makes it back-to-back starts for the first time since January, and up front Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. He hasn't scored in his last 2. A veritable goal drought for the league's second top scorer. He has 14 goals so far this term. He missed out on being called up to the Socceroos for the 2 matches against Lebanon in 2 weeks' time. And he's also an Adelaide boy, having played between 2017 and 2019 for the Reds, scoring 3 times in 15 appearances. While for Adelaide, Carl Viet has rung the changes, 4 in total from that 2-1 home loss to Melbourne victory last weekend, while the defence remains unchanged. In midfield, Isaias and Stefan Mork returned from suspension and illness respectively. And the other 2 changes come in attack, where Bayern bound Nestor Irankunda and Adelaide's top scorer Hiroshi Ibasuki start together for the first time in a month as they replace Luka Jovanovic and Austin Ayubi in the starting 11. No place for Ben Halloran this evening in the matchday squad. Hiroshi Ibasuki was on the score sheet in the 3-1 win over the Jets earlier this season, and he makes his 50th A-League start for the Reds in white this evening at McDonald Jones Stadium. Rob Stanton, the 51-year-old Newcastle Jets coach. It's been a very tough first season in the main job as head coach for the former Sydney FC youth coach and assistant. Same can be said for Carl Viet, Adelaide's longest serving head coach. He admitted as much earlier this season. This is the toughest period of his coaching career. Plenty of experience alongside him on the bench to draw from to try and dig out of this hole. Daniel Elder is our referee. He's being assisted by Kearney Robinson and Andrei Kiev. Ben Abraham is the 4th official, and Kate Yakchevitz is our video assistant referee. And we are all set for a start. Both sides and referee taking a knee in a unified show that racism has no place in the A-Leagues. No place for discrimination of any sort as we are underway in this second match of round 21 of the Isuzu Ute A-League season. I'm joined by Andy Harper for this one. Andy, the last 2 seasons it's been the Wellington Phoenix who have finished in 6th place with 35 and 39 points respectively. If either of these 2 sides want to reach that total, it means a 100% record from here on in.
Yeah, good evening, Robbie. Looking forward to this one, as always. On the table, permutations. There's a lot of red ink for both teams there. Adelaide got a bounce last week in the loss against Victory, but it was a more robust performance. Newcastle struggled to get into any consistency, and you can aggregate the maximum number of points and see where that gets you on the table. And when you look at the table, it's hard to imagine anyone from the top 6 actually sliding. And the Western Sydney Wanderers are in 7, of course. There's significant question marks over how they're going to go from this point on, but still, most certainly, I'd like to think in the fight, in Brisbane and Perth nipping at the heel. So win your games most certainly, but who's actually going to drop out of the race along the way?
Well, that is one of the big questions, and certainly Melbourne City, well, it's been an up and down, topsy-turvy season for them so far. But they are back in the 6 at the moment after that Tuesday night walloping of the Western Sydney Wanderers, equaling their biggest ever winning margin by 7 goals to 0. Now the Jets have been fast starters so far this season, as Aquilina finds Stamatolopoulos. Aquilina continuing his run. The cutback's a good one for Dane Ingham, and he just drags his shot across the face of goal. But that's keeping with form. This Newcastle side start brightly.
A nice move. And Dane Ingham had more time, I think, to set that up. His approach to the ball was a little tight. He either had the chance to just roll it more to his left or angle it to his right, his favoured foot. As it was, the shot was pulled to the right.
Still hasn't scored for the Newcastle Jets, Dane Ingham.
Pulled to the left, I should say, with his right.
Player of the year last year as Ethan Alagic has caught Stamatolopoulos. That's the second time Stamatolopoulos has been left on the ground holding his ankles. And now the free kick to follow. Costa Grozos. And Lucas Moragas standing over this one. And it will be Grozos. It's not a bad ball either. Now, is that Stamatolopoulos or Warland? It looks as though it was the league's second top scorer who got on the end of that one as he limps away from another challenge.
Made contact with Warland at the very least, but of course it was Stamatolopoulos who was fouled in the lead-up. Maybe that's where the limp has come from.
Javi Lopez goes down this time after the foul from Aquilina. Javi Lopez, who's preferred at left back to Ryan Kitto, who was absent through illness last week and starts on the bench this evening. He just stepped on him on the way back down there. You can see the inside of the foot. Oh, it does seem quite a painful one for Javi Lopez. Now referee Daniel Elder is saying yes, according to the referee's assistant, stepped on the inside of the ankle. Well, if you're going to give yellow cards every time someone steps on someone's foot. But Daniel Elder there just saying he received the advice from his assistant. That's what the assistants are also there for. Rob Stanton not too impressed, having a word to Ben Abraham, the fourth official. Early booking in this one inside 5 minutes. And now a second early booking for one of Rob Stanton's assistant coaches. Chris Bowling, it was the goalkeeper coach who's received that yellow. Piscopo with the little back heel. Isaias fell, no foul, but Callum Timmins couldn't run away with the ball. Now the first touch in this match. 5.5 minutes gone for Nestor Irankunda against Aquilina and Ingham, and he's won a first corner of the contest for the away side.
Yeah, the danger of Irankunda. I see he received that ball and got it to his feet. Dane Ingham's first move, Robbie, was to look over his inside shoulder and see who was coming to double up on the young Adelaide Flyer. In the end, Ingham, with that help, I guess the comfort of that help, defended the situation very well.
Clough's ball in, it's a good one, and Ivasuki's header wasn't bad either. It's a fantastic save in the end from Ryan Scott in the Newcastle goal.
Ivasuki getting across, Stamatolopoulos, and the reflexes of Ryan Scott did well enough. He just
patted it away. It's back in towards Ibasuki again, and it's off the head of Stefan Mork in the end.
Yeah, I don't know if Stefan knew much about this, but it very nearly went in.
They have been trying to perfect the art of the no-look back header. Square to Kankar, being closed down very quickly by Ibasuki. And Brandon O'Neill just makes sure Stefan Mork doesn't get another bite of the cherry on the edge of the box. Lopez for Ibasuki again. It's been misjudged by Kankar. It's a great run. He had two options on the goal line, and he drilled it beyond both of them.
Well, did beautifully with his body. Kankar all at sea, the defender. It's got to be 1-0 there for Adelaide, really. Even if you find a defender who's rushing back for an own goal. I think he's been good value, Hiroshi Ibasuki. He's provided a real point for the Adelaide attack since he's arrived, actually. And as the years are added on to the end of his career, maybe has less of an impact over the course of 90 minutes, but he still has the quality to determine the fate of a game when he's on there for his team.
He's trying to lead a high press here as well. Ingham. That's one way to play yourself out of a high press. Individually, first Natter, then Ingham. And here's Piscopo as the Jets fly up the other end. Looking for an option. It's a good ball towards Stamatolopoulos. The flag was up for offside.
There he is, just drifting off, both keeper and striker, having half a look at the other oncoming there. Thankfully, given that it was a dead ball situation, ultimately, anyone opted to put their body on the line. Maybe Stamatolopoulos had a hunch that he was going to be offside anyway.
Oh, and Aaron Kunda just doing a little too much pushing. He didn't think so. But it's not so often you see just a big hoof upfield from Javi Lopez, but when you have Aaron Kunda up front, and he's starting for just the 12th time in his career, Nestor Aaron Kunda.
He was great off the bench last week. I thought he was in that mood, and part of where Adelaide are at the moment, they couldn't really maximise it, but he was in that mood when he came on last week. But he really looked like he could have completely taken the game to pieces. And there were moments when he was just unmanageable. But Adelaide couldn't maintain the consistency of their performance. It was a good performance from Adelaide, ultimately losing to a good Melbourne victory.
He's on the ball again here. Aaron Kunda. Isaias takes over with Clough. A good turn, looking for Mork. Now Bobolina across the face of goal. What an opportunity for Hiroshi Ibasuki. And not for the first time this evening. It really should be 1-0 to Adelaide. Now Mork back in. And after all that, they will have a corner, but nothing more.
A big escape for Newcastle. Ibasuki should have put one on, and now he should have put one in. It's a really great bit of work from Bobolina. Geez, he's been impressive, Bobolina, this season, his breakthrough season, I think.
Called up to Tony Vidmar's Ollie Roos squad for the West Asian Under-23 Championship. Just 19 years of age. Already an A-League scorer as well. Clough, another good ball in. And they'll have another opportunity. Clough's delivery has been good tonight so far as well. Well, it's been a very bright start. Now Timmins is trying to do the marking on Hiroshi Ibasuki. You can see he stands a good head taller. Corner number 4. Clough again, near post this time. Oof. There's a big collision there. The crowd didn't like it. Ben Warland, who was leaping in, and it's poor old Stamatolopoulos who's down again. The yellow card is out. And Warland has been booked. here.
Yeah. I think here's the chance from Bovalina. Does really well to get forward. And one thing Ibusuki can normally deliver on a guarantee is his technique. But that let him down badly.
Well, having taken it short and tried to play out the last two opportunities, this time Ryan Scott sends the Jets long, and it's a good header forward from Giuseppe Bovalina. You can see there in front of the travelling Adelaide supporters. Isaias, the Spanish veteran, suspended for yellow cards from last week's original rivalry game, and his experience and presence in the middle of the park was keenly felt, that absence by the Reds, as Piscopo is fouled. Now Kankar with Grozos. Back to Kankar again. Stefan Mork, who's all energy midfielder. Kankar was looking for the contact and he got it. Let's head straight down to Ben Homer on the sidelines for us this evening. Ben.
Hey Robbie, hey Harps. Yeah, it's been a tough week for Adelaide fans. I might just hand it back to you here, Robbie.
As Moragas' ball in is headed away by Warland, and the Jets will stay on the attack. Ben, we'll get back to you in just a moment. We'll stay with this. Mind you, Ben Homer could probably call the action himself down there on the sidelines as well. Kankar.
You could have a cup of tea. Crossed you a couple of times in the half just to make sure you're still with him.
Brandon O'Neill back with Natta. And we do go all the way back now as the Jets just try and tease out an Adelaide side that have shown they're happy to try and press. The idea is, of course, that that will leave space at the back. The Jets are an excellent transition side. Here's Natta. Again with Grozos now. Natta looks up, manages to find Stamatolopoulos. That's a good ball down the left for Moragas. Keeps it in play. Plenty of talk about where Lucas Moragas' future lies at the moment as he squares it here to Grozos. No way through, and now Stefan Mork finds Alagic. Looking for Irankunda. It's a good ball. Irankunda looking to get away from Ingham. Too much pace. Irankunda on the left foot off the post. Well, we know his right foot packed some gunpowder. That was almost a brilliant finish on the left, and a huge let-off for the home side.
Well, the ball just goes a little wide for him there. He still gets a great angle. Ryan Scott has the territory pretty much covered, but it's the pace, the speed, the power of that left-footed shot on the angle that bounces off that near post. And it was a credit to Dane Ingham, who's very evidently no slouch. We've known that anyway, but actually footing it with Irankunda in full cry maybe just forced that ball a little wider than it might have gone. And another escape for Newcastle. That's 3 golden chances for Adelaide inside the first 15 minutes.
Well, normally it's the Jets that start quick. It's Adelaide notoriously slow starters this season as well. Adelaide have to defend now as Moragas was looking to get that early cross in towards Stamatolopoulos and Aquilina. He's got an attacking throw. Newcastle Jets have hit the woodwork 18 times this season, as well as dropping 16 points from leading positions that could so easily, with just a little slice of good fortune, be looking like a very different season for Rob Stanton's side. But they have to be careful here because Irankunda's looking lively. Irankunda just runs away. And now, Ben Homer, if you're still there, we will get back to you.
Thanks, Robbie. Thanks, Ups. There's going to be an attack, no doubt, from this goal kick. As soon as you cross down to me, I know it's going to happen. But on a serious note, it's been a really tough week for South Australian football fans with the passing of Socceroo, Steve Maxwell, former, well, he is a Hall of Famer in the football South Australia Hall of Fame. He won 3 NSL titles with Adelaide City, 2 NSL Cups, and scored 77 goals in 297 games. Sadly, passed away on the 10th of March. So Vale, Steve Maxwell, such a sad loss at just 59 years of age.
Yeah, that's devastating news. Steve Maxwell for Adelaide City and Marconi, just an amazing player and part of a very rich football tradition out of Adelaide. And it's devastating news. And to all his close kith and kin, we offer our heartfelt.
Adelaide United wearing black armbands this evening in memory of Socceroo, number 339, Steve Maxwell. And as Ben Homer did say, we were going to have an attack while he was bringing us that news. Exactly what happened. Stefan Morks across the face of goal, just eluding Hiroshi Ibasuki. Mork was missing after that trip to Wellington a couple of weeks ago. Oh, Stamatolopoulos. Well, must have been nearly fouled by Ben Warland, who's keeping very close tabs on him. Aquilina with Ingham. And he's caught by Stephen Moore. Moragas again on the ball. He was on the score sheet last week in Perth. So was Clayton Taylor, who's on the bench this evening. Moragas again. Nalagic with Clough. All the way back to Nick Ansell. Back-to-back starts for him as well, after a long period sidelined with a niggling knee injury. Lopez with Nick Ansell, the former Melbourne Victory player. Alagic with Isaias. He looks up, great switch of play for Irankunda. Little flick through for Alagic. Grozos can't prevent the ball running out for another corner territorially. Adelaide right on top.
Beautiful control, lovely floated pass and a tasty little flick over the top, over the knee of the Jets defender.
And it comes again from Irankunda, cleared as far as Clough. Hooks it back in. Natta with the header away. Aquilina. He's very close. Irankunda, one way then the other. He's looking to make the most of contact. Manages to stay on his feet. Say yes again. Alagic trying to get a bit more pace on. Keep the Newcastle defenders under pressure. Ibasuki. Now Clough's ball in. A comfortable one for Ryan Scott. Piscopo comes and collects. Aquilina a little bit fortunate, perhaps. And if he stayed on his feet there, Wallen did very well to match him for pace, because Aquilina's no slouch as well. Been in excellent form the last few weeks, Thomas Aquilina. Hansel for Giuseppe Bovolina. Made his debut for the Adelaide United first team on the second game of this season. Giuseppe Bovolina, this is now his 20th appearance. That first game against the Mariners was the only one he hasn't appeared in. When you think that you've forced Javi Lopez to switch flanks, that's a fair vote of confidence from Carl Veert. The young right back, he's full of running. There is Javi Lopez, under 300 matches for Espanyol, the other Barcelona club. So yes, a little bit fortunate to get away with that one, as he just lost the ball for a moment. Bovolina again. Turns back inside. Isaias with Wallen. O'Neill. Alagic, that's a good ball. And Ibasuki again showing his fine touch. Looking for Irankunda. Alagic. Isaias, nice feet. Well, he doesn't score so often anymore, Isaias, but it was positive football.
Yeah, really nice ball movement for Adelaide. They're enjoying this very dominant start to the game. Callum Timmins gave himself up defensively there. So he's frustrated that he couldn't get more on that shot.
Again, it's punched clear by Scott. It was Clough back on corner duty. Now Isaias' ball in. And Newcastle again scrambling to get it clear, but it's a good ball from O'Neill for Piscopo. Got front position against Clough. And referee Daniel Elder reaches into the pocket again for another yellow card.
I just think they're cheap yellow cards to give away. You know, it was completely a yellow card offence, but he had defensive help. Piscopo had a long way to go before he was really going to cause some trouble, and you'd back yourself to at least be nuisance value, if not overrun him, the player carrying the ball. But to me, that's just a really soft concession, and now Zach Clough sitting on that yellow card.
Newcastle's last shot came in the 3rd minute from Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. In the interim, 7 shots at goal for Adelaide. They've given away another free kick here.
Well, there are shots recorded as stats and shots, and Adelaide have had 3 great chances. And then that pass across the 6-yard box when Ben Homer was reporting on the sad news of Steve Maxwell. So 4, by my way of thinking, really excellent chances to have troubled the scorer.
And very little from a home side, the Newcastle Jets, who perhaps in their desire to avoid what has become a very frustrating trend of starting quick. And now Mork and Stamatolopoulos have another coming together. Yellow card for Stefan Mork for the foul, and Stamatolopoulos, that's the 4th or 5th foul on him. just letting his frustrations get the better of him.
I think that's the 4th foul against Stephen Walker. The first 2, I think, were a little soft. The second 2 were clear fouls. Referee, and that one in particular was a pretty obvious one.
Samadolopoulos just covering his mouth as he was in the ear of his former Adelaide teammate Ben Warland. Well, we've had those chances. Nestor Irankunda's hit the post. And we've had 5 yellow cards inside half an hour here. Certainly suggests these 2 sides are both approaching this as possibly their last chance to keep season hopes alive. Javi Lopez with the header away. O'Neill arriving. Aquilina. Are the Jets going to sting Adelaide here? Timmins. Piscopo trying to square it, and it's going to be an offside in the end to relieve the pressure. But a rare moment in the last 20-odd minutes where the Jets have managed to cause Adelaide some problems.
Moved the ball nicely. They were set well. Despite the fact that they've been under the bulk with the pressure, when they get the chance, there is an element of freshness about the way Newcastle have been playing recently, and for large chunks of the season under Robbie Stanton. I think in extraordinarily difficult circumstances is doing a fantastic job.
Well, Ben Homer mentioned it in the pre-game show as well, just how hard it has been for the club during this period, without any real financial support to run the club. The coaching staff expected to go beyond the call of duty, often wearing several hats. And they're still here, they're still fighting. Isaias accelerates, he's done that well. Bovalina now looks up and crosses. Natta half clears. Here's Mork. Javi Lopez. Irankunda now. Managed to get one-on-one briefly with Ingham, but Aquilina across to cover. Now Alagic. The cross is deflected up in the air and claimed by Scott again. They look to play it out quickly into feet, but that just invites the press again from Adelaide, and they're forced all the way back again to the keeper.
Well, if the Jets can hold their nerve and hold the clean sheet, they will believe that Adelaide might just run out of a bit of steam. But, they had dodged a couple of bullets, it should be said. Just to repeat, Adelaide have had some great chances to have taken the lead, and it's been a very good opening half by the visitors. But Newcastle have shown enough to have Adelaide warned.
No clean sheets in their last 11 for the Jets. Just 1 win in that time. 3-1 against Brisbane. No clean sheets for Adelaide in their last 18. In fact, they started the season with back-to-back clean sheets, and that's it. None for Delianov, now in his 11th match between the posts after taking over from Joe Gauci, who went himself 8 matches without a clean sheet to finish his stint. Ingham. Good challenge from Alagic, who showed some real steel in the middle of the park last weekend.
Well, I've been watching tonight after last week. He was like a one-man wrecking ball. I think that's the first tackle he's had to put in tonight. That's a reflection, not that he's not primed. Here we go. Ooh. He decided not to launch then this time last week. Well, I think that's more a reflection of the way Adelaide have pretty much just dominated everything with the ball. He hasn't had a lot of tackling to do, but that was a wonderful new side of Ethan Allegich that I saw last week. The youngster coming through Adelaide. Great football DNA.
Stamatolopoulos again quickly turning away from trouble. You can see the attacking stats are very much in Adelaide's favour at the top of your screen there, including final third entries, touches in the box and crosses. Ingham turns away from Irankunda. Piscopo with Aquilina. Now the cross comes in and it's a good ball right into the right area, but nobody there.
Stamatolopoulos was on the near touchline as part of that little close sequence. Otherwise, it was a nice idea from Aquilina. And that's more evidence of quite how fresh Newcastle, for a team that's in a lowly position and have been under the pump in this game, that they find that freshness when they get the chance. It's actually quite impressive because players could go into their shell given the circumstances.
And it's another yellow card. Now, Ingham is claiming that there was absolutely nothing in that challenge, that Irankunda just threw himself up into the air. Referee Daniel Elder not so clear, certainly late. Ingham still chatting to referee Daniel Elder. There's the yellow card count. It's actually 3-3 if you take assistant coach Chris Dowling. Bowling rather also picking up a yellow card. Son Zach has been on the bench a few times this season. Young teenage goalkeeper when called upon. Michael Weir has the gloves on the bench this evening as Ingham concedes the corner.
That's a great little idea. I mean, as Ingham's on that card and he's defending on the back foot like most do against Nestri Irankunda, and that's a great moment to see if you can get into again.
Well, that's the experience of Javi Lopez.
Yeah, and he held his nerve, don't he? I mean, it's a big test. He's such a...
Clough's ball in again, back post, swirling around in the wind and out. It's going to be a throw for Giuseppe Bovalina.
That was a leap of Caltech proportions from Bovalina at the back post there.
He's got, or developed, a bit of a reputation in the South Australian NPL as being a fine headerer of a football in an attacking sense as well, often amongst the goals. As the free kick goes Newcastle's way. He's got a couple of goals this season, one in the 3-4 loss to MacArthur.
That's the fifth personal foul. Basketball talk on Stefan Mork.
That's what he's there for as well, Stefan Mork. He's been brought back to give that energy in the middle of the park. And he's got the better of Timmins there. Made no secret of the fact that he wanted to return to Japan. But in the end, after training during the Japanese off-season with Adelaide, the Reds put the word on him and said, look, either you sign or you move on, as that's a great ball for Aquilina. And he's never scored an A-League goal. He wasn't far away there. And more evidence of how this Newcastle side can soak up pressure and then hit on the counter-attack.
Yeah, nice effort from Aquilina. Very comfortable for James Delinov, but not only not a goal scorer, but not noted as a real beast in the air, Aquilina, but he made the angle nicely there.
free kick this time. Ingham was hoping for a little bit of contact. Clough, who's operating on this left flank now, as Kunda is back on the side, probably that he prefers, you'd think, as well. That right flank. Delianov with Bovalina. He's got Kunda ahead of him. Well, he looks long. And just his presence is enough to sow panic in the Newcastle defence. That's a good challenge from Timmins. Natta long. Stamatolopoulos' touch only finds Bovalina again. Mork wants the throw and doesn't get it. Let's head back down to Ben Homer. Ben, how are the conditions down there this evening? It looks a little blustery.
Yeah, Robbie, there's about a 35 to 40 km/h breeze behind Adelaide in this first half. So obviously, you know, in football, it can benefit you running into the wind or with it. You know, Newcastle will have the ball holding up a little bit for them. Adelaide, though, assisting them moving forward. And just on both of these coaches, just chatting to them during the week, both of them spoke about moments. They're not winning the big moments in matches. Similar story in this first half. They've had their chances, haven't been able to take them. And Robbie, there you go. That's the first cross you've fired into me, and there hasn't been a chance created. So 66% record now for us.
Fantastic, Ben. I know you're a stats man at heart as well. Ingham. Kankar for Natta. Good challenge from Bovalina, and then Kunda managing to block that effort forward from Natta. The Jets, who finished their season with 3 home matches after this and 2 on the road. As here goes Piscopo. And he thought he had more time than he actually did there. Now Clough has done well. Good quick feed for Alagic. Zayas back for Alagic. It's very coolly done. They've played their way out of trouble brilliantly, Adelaide, and found the feet of Kunda with Bovalina. Moragas and Timmins defend well. Having managed to stop Adelaide transitioning quickly, now the Reds have to try and build again from the back. Good challenge on Ivasuki by Grozos. A little bit clumsy that time from Javi Lopez. Aquilina's been in the wars as well as Timmins. Invites Moragas forward. It was his cross that was met by Aquilina. He's been excellent down this left flank. Lucas Moragas taking on Bovalina. He's got another great cross in, and Stamatolopoulos should have scored. What a brilliant opportunity for Newcastle.
Well, this is the best of Lucas Moragas. He's a terrific option at left fullback when he's playing like this, and more often than not, this is the form he can deliver. He's been so positive tonight, and that was just a lovely delivery into one of the hottest marksmen in the comp at the moment. And for all money, you thought that was going to be 1-0 for Newcastle.
Stamatolopoulos was looking to join Bruno Fornaroli on 15 goals this season. He hasn't scored in his last 2. He's had chances as well, but that was gilt-edged. Bovalina again. It's deflected behind off Lucas Moragas, who's making the difference at both penalty boxes at the moment.
Well, 10 v 11, there's been some real quality to watch tonight. Very easy on the eye, some of this football, a lot of this football. We shouldn't be at 0-0. And as the coaches have declared during the week. The big moments are eluding them, and that's on this evidence why they're sitting in position 10 and 11. But both playing some really nice stuff.
Clough's delivery again. Ansell was there. Stephen Moork as well on the spin. And he has his first goal back with Adelaide, his hometown club. His third stint with Adelaide United. And there he pivoted inside the 6-yard box and drilled the ball home.
Well, there's a cluster of bodies on the Harvey Norman replay. Ibusuki hits the turf just as Stephen Moore volleys the ball on the pivot. A little push in the back will be the call. VAR will look at it. Is there going to be enough evidence to overturn?
Well, VAR are having a look. As we see now, is the offside there as well? It looks like a very close call as it came off Ansell. Maybe Aquilina just stepped up in time. And then after that it will come down to the interpretation of the push as well.
Sorry, Robbie, you go.
I was going to say Daniel Elder at the moment trying to ward off the likes of Brandon O'Neill, explaining what a push in the back is.
Yeah, and he was more interested in the push in the back than the potential offside.
The offside will make it an easier call, black and white if you like, because it's going to be very, very tight.
Looks like offside, eh? Is he trying to diffuse Sayas before the actual decision, before the gavel falls?
I think he's saying that's what they're looking at, which is why this is going to take a moment. So VAR getting the lines up to make sure it looked a very tight call. Now let's have a look. Here it comes in. There it hits Ansell.
You've got to look at the white boot of Aquilina.
That
How
is
far back
ball.
it is, yeah. And are they going to get a clear line of sight at it? Anyway, we'll wait and see.
So the offside has been cleared. So now we're having a look at the foul. Now, I think it's a foul. Is there a foul there? No. There, Ibusuki goes down. Now, is there a foul there? He's grabbing his ankle. And is there a foul there by Moork pushing Aquilina out of the way?
Well, then do you go back to the foul and I mean, just play, honestly. For offside now. Geez, you went off early, Thompson.
Offside is the call. That took a little bit longer to get those lines just perfect. Stephen Moork denied the first goal back in Adelaide colours. A shake of the head. It wasn't the white boots of Aquilina to look at, it was the gold boots of Stephen Moork.
Well, geez, if you can see, we've just had another hair split. We're good at that.
Well, we have had a lot of goals given this season where the line's gone green, where it is too close to call. So if they've they've separated the lines, there's obviously enough distance between the two to be offside. Yes, almost sprung the trap, and now looking for Moork again. Ibusuki charging forward. It's well dealt with by Mark Natter. When you can see red and blue lines, it means that the offside is...
they've got everything right.
They've got everything right, whereas when the line goes green...
To the pixel, to the megapixel. They've got everything right. The stop button, the pause button, everything is... so 100% accurate, you can measure it to the zillionth of a millimetre. Thanks, Rob.
Zillionth of a millimetre goes green. Is there the ball into the back post. Kunda again. Lays it back. Oh, a little bit of space for Javi Lopez, who just looked up to see where the goal was as the ball arrived. Now Aquilina's painted himself into a corner. Kunda takes over and hits it. And it was another of those ones like the one he scored last week, where it moves around in the air and stays low and is a nightmare for goalkeepers. We've had an extra minute added on. As we see here, Aquilina caught by the hunting pack and just bouncing in front of Ryan Scott as well. A really difficult one for Nestor Kunda. Now, Moragas. Timmins pulling out of that one a little too easily, perhaps. Moragas asking the question of him as well. Why didn't he show a little bit more appetite for that ball? Aquilina bouncing his way through. Stamatolopoulos back for Aquilina. It's a great ball. He's claiming a corner. He's not going to get it.
Well, again, amidst Adelaide's otherwise dominant performance, there are these gaps in play, these moments when Newcastle find these really clever little bits of football. Stamatolopoulos putting a little beauty through for Aquilina, who finished that like a defender. Unfortunately for the Jets, it's been a really good first half of football here in Newcastle.
Iwasuki, it's a great little ball from Kunda. Mork in there as well. Just about the appetite that Adelaide have shown here and their dominance in play. It's also reflected as that one in for Iwasuki. Now Bovalina! Oh, great stop. Ryan Scott with an outstretched right paw to pad the ball away.
Good keeping from Scott.
And another corner. Number 9. Now, and we're beyond the 4 minutes of time added on. Clough's ball, in it comes. We had that chance inside the opening 2 minutes as Iwasuki's header from a corner was saved by Scott. And the half ends with Ryan Scott making another great save. Stefan Mork was denied the opening goal by the offside VAR call. It's been a feisty one. Adelaide have already made more fouls than they have on average in an entire match during the season. They've been up for the fight, but they have been unable to find a way past Ryan Scott in the Jets' goal, and the Jets have sporadically shown that they are dangerous in transition as well. Half-time here at McDonald Jones. Newcastle 0, Adelaide 0.
What you waiting for? Not much time, you can't waste no more. There's not much time, what you waiting for?
Geordie Boss with his very first international goal. Here's Jackson Irvine. It's there for Australia. Jackson Irvine. Goodwin. Craig Goodwin on the volley.
Welcome back to McDonald Jones Stadium, where Stephen Moore thought he had the opening goal here in this one. Ruled out for the finest of offside margins. And we are still scoreless in this one. Plenty to entertain the kids, though, on a Friday night in Newcastle. Hiroshi Isuzu had chances, denied a couple of times by Ryan Scott. Nestor and Kunda back in the starting lineup as well, denied by the woodwork. And Apostolos Stamatolopoulos had a gilt-edged opportunity as well at the other end. This game should have goals by now. Perhaps these two sides, and it is absolutely a must-win for both of them, are saving the goals for the late show, which has been the case so far this season. It is Adelaide that get the second half underway. A point will do neither side any good, Andy Harper. They really have to go for broke if they want to have anything to play for in this final 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that's as far as the top six is concerned, but again, the subplot to all this is avoiding the bottom four positions because of the cup playoff. You want to secure your safe passage into next year's Australia Cup and making sure you don't finish in the bottom four, and that remains a live situation, even with the teams cast adrift at the bottom. But a loss here for either Adelaide or Newcastle, it suggests, would mean that they can then focus most certainly on trying to avoid the bottom four positions.
We just saw the Newcastle Jets line up at the bottom of your screen there. Yellow cards for Aquilina and Ingham. 3 yellow cards at the moment for Adelaide as well. So you'll see their lineup at the bottom of your screen. Yellow cards for Warland, Clough and Mork. In attack, as here is Zach Clough. Ivasuki does well with Alagic. Now Aaron Kunda against Ingham. Return pass for Javi Lopez. Turns inside. The cross punched away by Ryan Scott. Unorthodox but effective. Bovalina again. That's another great ball for Zach Clough. He drives it in low. Ivasuki wanted it just clipped up to the back post. Now Isaias, can he do that? It's a good ball. Cleared by Kankar. And as it was in the first half, Adelaide straight onto the front foot.
Newcastle's defence was nicely focused, and it needed to be, because it was very good play from Adelaide. Lovely down the left-hand side, firstly, from Javi Lopez. Scott swatting the ball out to the other side, and Adelaide came again with a couple of nice incursions into the penalty area, but the Newcastle defence stayed focused, sawed away the danger.
Moragas looking for a free kick, trying to show the referee that Nick Ansell was holding him. Mark Natter, one of the Jets to have signed a new contract extension. Ivasuki's touch for Mork. Here's Timmins. Challenge from Bovalina. Sliding in now as he felt the shoulder go there. Let's have a look. There's the arm, oh, and it's, yes, landed upon as well while he was trying to hold himself up. That right shoulder may have just given way. Under the weight. Well, you can just hear that, the shoulder's out. Oh. They're going to try and pop it back in.
That's a terrible blow if that's the case. They've been very careful with him. Extremely painful, but his breakthrough into the Ollie Roos. Eesh.
Oh, goodness me, well, I'm glad the doctor is preventing us seeing all of... Oh, what a painful moment this must be for... Just Giuseppe Bovolina, everyone's eyes fixed on the big screen as well. Have they managed to get it back in? Well, they've got him back up. Oh, well, how about that? It's not so often you see it successfully done these days. It would be quite remarkable if there's no ramifications to it.
I thought it only ever happened in Mel Gibson movies.
Look at that, a bit of resistance. He's right to go. Good as gold. What a let off.
Is that really? Yeah. Have I just dodged a massive bullet?
Mate, he's in the form of his life. He's just been called up to the Olyroos. He's got the West Asian championships coming up.
But he can take them on as well.
Well, that's a big relief for Giuseppe Bovolina and for Adelaide United as well. Mind you, it does look as though Javi Lopez is finally over his injury problems that plagued the start of his season as well. Ryan Kitto missed last week through illness. Oh, as it's taken quickly. Second ball just making it onto the field, and now they're going to do all of that again. Piscopo with Ingham. Stamatolopoulos giving it a thumbs up, but he was marshalled by 3 white shirts there. Now Piscopo, Reno Piscopo, oh, it's brilliantly struck and brilliantly saved. Well, it was like a tracer bullet off the right foot, but Delianov watched it the whole way.
Well, it's pretty cheap out of defence from Adelaide, and Piscopo is probably the last player you'd want to give the ball away to. Stamatolopoulos, I guess, comes into that discussion as well, but it's a good shot on goal. Another chance coming and going for either team, thanks to James Delianov. That was wonderful goalkeeping.
And he's starting to rediscover his best form as well. He was, of course, first choice keeper before injury laid him low. The header from Javi Lopez. Moragas back in. Alagic. Aaron Kundas missed it, but he's got there at the second attempt. Delianov produced a series of great stops last week against Melbourne Victory that kept his team right in the contest, right to the death. Clough closed down, surrounded by gold shirts. And Timmins shooting from a near impossible angle. Stamatolopoulos not happy. Timmins in his second season with the Jets. He's still looking for his first Newcastle goal as well. The former Perth midfielder. Another 1-2 with Lopez. He finds Isaias. And now Bovolina. Turns inside, back outside with Clough. Isaias. Now Bovolina making that run. It's a good ball in from Clough as well. Bovolina keeps it alive. Crosses left boot. Only Aquilina there to meet it. With that thigh very heavily strapped down and behind the knee. They've been through their central defenders this season. Alex Popovic, of course, left the club in the January transfer window. Lockie Barr is out injured. Panagiotis Kikianis, who made his first team debut this season and also netted his first goal in that thrilling 3-3 against Perth. Not in the matchday squad today. Isaias has played in the centre of defence. Good little touch from Clough with Mork. Clough goes again. Isaias looking for Irankunda. Again, the double team is there. Aquilina, who's... Oh, well, Alagic has won a corner there. Well played off Grozos.
Yeah, great bit of work from Ethan Alagic. Beating Grozos to the punch in the end and winning a corner. And Adelaide's corners have looked pretty dangerous. The disallowed goal came from an Adelaide corner.
And Mork and Aquilina are back together again there. And it comes from Clough. Floated in towards Ansell. And Mork was right there again. Unable to turn it home. Clough again drives it in low this time. Cleared by Stamatolopoulos. Alagic, well, it was great delivery from Zach Clough right onto the head of Nick Ansell. Got just his second ever A-League goal on the opening day of the campaign, Nick Ansell, in that 3-0 win over the Mariners. A week later, they defeated the other grand finalists, Melbourne City, 6-0. And then, unfortunately, that was as good as it got for Adelaide this season. Bovalina's done brilliantly. Real battle between he and Moragas. Two very, very exciting fullbacks. Clough again asking Javi Lopez to run, and Mork and Ibasuki were both there, Bovalina as well.
First real error of the night from Zach Clough. He's been very tidy, very positive, very expressive, very creative with his possession tonight.
He missed the trip to Wellington 2 weeks ago for the birth of his daughter. As Moragas, the early cross, looking for Stamatolopoulos. He's going to get another chance here. Moragas again, taking on Bovalina. He's done well to the edge of the box. Piscopo trying to curl it. Appeals for the handball off Zach Clough. Now, the referee may have been unsighted, but all the Newcastle players went up in unison. And that one will be studied by the video assistant referee as play continues here. Kankar with Grozos. Ingham. It just gets away, but it's going to be a Newcastle throw with O'Neill. Now Timmins through the legs with Ingham. He decides to shoot and slips on his way through. Now it's outside the box, I think, so nobody's going to spend too much time looking at that. It did hit the arm. But I think it was just outside the box, which is why that hasn't gone any further. Ingham, little 1-2. Delianov rolls the ball out with Warland. Let's have a look. Well, let's say just.
Well, no one can prove you wrong. The referee waved it away immediately.
Now Timmins again. Stephen Mork back doing the defense. Ooh, now Isaias has gone down holding his foot, but I suspect Isaias was the player doing the fouling here. He's caught Timmins heavily. And he might know how that looks. Isaias, the referee, is heading into the pocket. See it again here, Isaias arriving. Oh, jumping in two-footed. And late.
Yeah, and it's a yellow card. I think he does jump in, but he lands on the ground. If he lands on the player first, I think he's going to be in real trouble. I think there's enough mitigating circumstance there to leave it as a yellow, which was the call of the referee, and I think bang on.
Isaias will be happy enough to get away with the booking. It's going to be a free kick to the Newcastle Jets. Lucas Moragas to take. Carl Veert with the black armband on. He was part of that Adelaide City side alongside Steve Maxwell.
What a hell of a team that was. Wow.
Littered with Socceroos. Aquilina. Irankunda, who we've seen moments of, and this might be another one of those moments here. But Ingham is quick. Gets the free kick.
Just bit off a little more than he could chew there with Dane Ingham, who's very fast. And it's exhilarating when he starts dribbling at speed and past players. You think this could be anything here, but he tried to turn that as a last resort into a foot race against Dane Ingham, and he's very capable of holding his own. He's the Newcastle right fullback.
Foul count, a big one against Adelaide. They average 11 fouls per match, so they're already well beyond that. They were beyond it at the end of the first half. 16 fouls conceded by the Reds. Kankar. Stefan Mort continues to put himself about and chase down every single ball. Timmins with Moragas. Ivasuki, nice touch for Alagic. Now Irankunda. Again trying to get one-on-one with Ingham. The cavalry arrive in the form of Aquilina and Kankar. And Aquilina, a fullback by trade, is doing everything he can to always be that second curtain just behind Dane Ingham. Change coming, Ivasuki coming off. Haven't seen too much of him in the second half, to be fair. And the youngster, Luka Jovanovic, a very different profile, coming into the game. And Hiroshi Ivasuki's 50th A-League start ends without a goal. And Clayton Taylor is going to come on for Thomas Aquilina as well, as the home team make their first change of the game. Taylor, so much talk about him Had an outstanding performance last week. Comes on looking to make a difference in the final quarter of this match. In the old days, you weren't allowed to have anyone inside the penalty box at a goal kick, only the goalkeeper. Now you're allowed to have only the defending side inside the box, which wasn't the case there, as Mork was inside the box. That's until the ball is played, of course. Now, Orland's touch back, not intentional.
No, a nice football. The ball from Moragas up the left flank was just perfect, and Taylor's instinct to try and centre the ball at the earliest opportunity was a healthy one. Ball under a little bit of pressure, and Stamatopoulos was hovering.
Alagic with Lopez. Yurin Kunda ahead of him. He looks for Jovanovic. Looking to take on Kankari, does well. Rifles the ball just into the outside of the netting.
Exciting play from the youngster. Stephen Milk might be taking him to task. It's a very positive run, nicely found. A good shift of the ball, nice bit of trickery. Yeah, Stephen Milk wanted that roll to the edge of the 6-yard box.
As a sort of second striker this evening, Stefan Mork. Orland's header for Alagic. Isaias helps on its way for Jovanovic. Here is Mork with Clough. Looking for Povolina down the right flank. It was easily picked off by the Jets defence, and then Alagic picks up a yellow card. So they are flowing again in this second half. Another foul on Timmins.
Well, last week the bruiser, this week the bear hugger.
Newcastle have generally done the majority of their scoring by this stage of the competition. Mind you, they have conceded 21 goals in the last half hour of matches this season. That's just one goal short of Newcastle and of the Mariners, rather, and Wellington Phoenix. In the entire competition, they've conceded in just the last 30 minutes of matches. Adelaide are also pretty handy at conceding goals late on. The grace for each side might be the fact that their opponents are not so crash hot on scoring late goals this season. That's been very much the domain of the likes of MacArthur and Perth. Records are there to be beaten. Moragas's ball. Stamatopoulos was there, but so was Ben Warland. Encouraging words from the fans. Here it comes from Grozos, and Daniel Elder was clearly watching something as soon as the ball left the boot. Free kick given. Newcastle. Into the feet of Clough, who's turned himself into a bit of trouble, but had his ankles clipped according to the referee. Kankar, very positive defender, Phil Kankar. 1 for Taylor to chase. Bobolino just got his angles wrong. Clayton Taylor, inside and out, players slipping and sliding around. O'Neill goes diving, looking for the free kick. Nothing given. Adelaide break. Moore with Irankunda. Ivanovic in the middle. Irankunda. Still Irankunda. Palmed away again by Ryan Scott. He managed to get it on target. Isaias comes again over the top for Ivanovic. Oh, and he's made a mess of that. He keeps it in play. Now, Irankunda. It falls for Clough. And he misses everything.
What a great chance. And again, that moment that they just come so quickly for Irankunda. A little bit of space, and he thrashes the ball goalward. Ryan Scott beats it away, and then as it comes to... This is very makeable for Zach Clough, player of his ability, and the form he's been in tonight. He's looked to be in good nick, but he couldn't at all find what Irankunda delivered, even a fraction of that on target. For Zach Clough, and Adelaide take the lead, you'd reckon?
Now Piscopo again for Stamatolopoulos. The cutback. Well, it was inviting the ball from Stamatolopoulos right through the middle of the penalty box. Kankar fouling Irankunda. Stamatolopoulos asking where the runs were. Kunda's had 2 shots on target in this match, more than any other player. Bobolino, it stays in play against Moragas. You can hear the Adelaide bench saying, don't let Newcastle get out of this, keep the pressure on. Bobolina with Moore. Clough again. Little 1-2. Moragas is watchful. Runs out for a goal kick. Warland. Isaias. Beautifully done for his compatriot, Javi Lopez. Isaias continues his run. Gets there. Ahead of Ingham. The cross. Cleared by Kankar. Turning back the clock there, Isaias. A great probing run. Now Clough's ball, back post, beyond everyone. As we're about to enter the last 15 minutes, let's head back down to Ben Homer.
Hey Robbie, yeah, big period in the game coming up. Archie Goodwin, who made his first start of the season a couple of weeks ago. He's coming off the bench here for Newcastle. But one thing I'm noticing on the sideline, I've just had a chat to a couple of people about this. There just seems to be a lot of anger from players, coaching staff, even the crowd here. I don't know whether it's the situation with this match, 2 sides struggling at the moment, needing a win, whether it's the wind. You know how sometimes the wind can put people on edge. But there is a level of tenseness in this game that I haven't really noticed in previous matches this season. There's just an extra edge to it here. So I'm expecting something potentially to explode in these next 16 and a bit minutes plus stoppage time.
Well, perhaps seasons are right on the line here, because belief that you can make the finals is what these 2 sides are fighting for. Ryan Kitto and Luke Giselle coming into the game. Kanalagic and Stefan Mork, the two players making way. With Stefan Mork going off, you have removed one of the potential incendiary elements of these fiery last 15 minutes. Had a good game, plenty of activity again from Stefan Mork. Ingham. Piscopo wins the throw, which Ingham wants to take quickly. O'Neill coming short. Newcastle, who haven't had a problem scoring goals, it's been keeping them out that's been their Achilles heel this season. Well, they've done a pretty good job of turning that around. As Nestor, he goes down holding his lower back. He's been caught there by Moragas. Both players going towards the ball. They'll be right to continue. Kunda, who, like all great opposition players, draws the ire of the home fans. It is the case again. Oh, as Giselle went sliding in. Taylor. Put Isaias on the ground. He's slipping and sliding around there in that area of the penalty box, which doesn't look in the best nick, to be fair. A couple of big holes in there as well.
Yeah, made space nicely. Newcastle holding his ground. Being held together by Scotch tape at the moment. Newcastle, but it's sticking firm. You can put it that way. It's good to see him on the football field.
As it stands, no change. Perth, the big winners, in action tomorrow, can now skip clear once again of the bottom three if it stays this way. But certainly that point does neither side much good. Giselle trying to change things around. It was struck firmly, but straight down the middle. Ryan Kitto has come on, and the former Newcastle Jet likewise turning back the clock a little bit. He's gone up onto the left wing. As Warland takes a moment to get back to his feet. Well, this may stop the run of Adelaide victories over Newcastle if it stays this way. But Newcastle still won't have beaten the Reds here at McDonald Jones Stadium in 7 years. A run that dates back to December 2017. At the moment, 6th place. Melbourne City sit on 29 points. So before their match against the Mariners, which won't be played until after the international break, after the Mariners were in action last night in India in the AFC Cup, they're a step closer to that. Oh, as here's Irankunda. Oh, Nata with the mistake. The cutback from Irankunda was brilliant for Jovanovic, and so was the defending.
It was great work from Dane Ingham. Ball breaks to Irankunda, and I'd probably speak on behalf of at least some viewers that just think he's going to shoot first time there. But he carries it in, and then he makes something of the rebound. As Mark Natta swings and misses, and Dane Ingham is there to tidy up for the Jets. Another near thing for Adelaide.
Clough delivers. It hit the head of Ansell. He goes looking for another opportunity. Jovanovic. Well, he's done that nicely to get rid of Piscopo. Now Kitto. Back for Jovanovic. Lovely turn. Jovanovic still on the left foot. And there's the goal. Persistence paying off. And the substitute, Luka Jovanovic, with just over 10 minutes left to play, has finally made the breakthrough.
Well, he's looked great off the bench, Jovanovic. He makes this goal by starting the second attack and just keeping the ball alive. Beautiful turn, as you called it on the Harvey Norman replay, Robbie. This is lovely play to just keep the attack going, and it's a beautiful turn there to get rid of two defenders. Fights his way through Brandon O'Neill and skewers Newcastle's goal. Ryan Scott could do nothing about that one. His weight's committed to the other post. Very, very clever play and lovely feet from Luka Jovanovic to give Adelaide United the goal they've been waiting a long time for. They've created plenty of chances tonight.
Fourth goal of the season for Luka Jovanovic, who for the first time this term scores against a team whose name does not begin with W, after goals against the Wanderers, Western United and Wellington Phoenix. Now, we are just checking for a passive offside here, and I think it was Giuseppe Bovolina on your screen there who was seen jumping over the ball as it headed towards that bottom left-hand corner. Now, was he in an offside position, and did it have a direct impact on Ryan Scott's view and ability to try and keep that out, as Trent Bahaja comes on for Brandon O'Neill. And it has not been ruled out, so the goal stands. Here's, look at Bovolina there, jumping out of the way. Well, it would have been a very tough call had that been given.
Really tough. I mean, have to look at it. But there's that shoulder again, not 100%. Giuseppe Bovolina. Bovolina's off the field, Robbie, so the referee can insist that the throw's taken and the game continues, which it probably should.
That's probably what he's checking. You just stay there, says the referee, if you're going to receive assistance. James Delinov. Well, after 4 consecutive defeats for Adelaide, 6 losses in their last 7. They've taken 1 point from a possible 21. Adelaide coming in to this match, and their last 4 losses on the trot, all by a solitary goal. Well, perhaps they're going to turn the tables here on Newcastle. Clayton Taylor may have other ideas. Moragas, the cutback, it's behind Stamatopoulos, cleared by Luke Giselle. Moragas again. Ball in. Goodwin. Little touch. Taylor using a bit of a shield run there by Goodwin. Running interference. Isaias looks long. Irankunda. And again, he was winding up. but straight out of play.
I think he picked a better target there. Mark Natter's obviously been playing very well this season, but I think a more easier player to run down.
A glancing header from Bahadur. He looked offside. Now the flag goes up.
And then Dane Ingham on the other side for the story Aaron Kunda.
Newcastle's final game of the season, as we see Harry van der Sar is coming on. Aaron Kunda replaced by van der Sar, and Zach Clough coming off to be replaced by Tunnicliffe. One Englishman replacing another. Last night the Central Coast Mariners qualified for the zonal playoff of the AFC Cup. They are one step away from the $2.3 million jackpot, which would come with victory in the final of the AFC Cup. Not one step away, but one step closer. It's been a long and arduous journey to make it this far. We've already played a regional final, a zonal final, or an interzonal final. Now comes the zonal final next, and then hopefully the big final of the whole thing.
The final final.
The final final. Well played, Ayubi. That was Tunnicliffe charging forward, 22, not 42. Kitto gets a little bit of change out of Dane Ingham, enough for a corner. Just over 3.5 minutes left in regulation time. Now, Luke Giselle to take. He delivers it near post. The glancing header was from Harry van der Sar. It's come off a Newcastle jet, so it'll be another corner and another few seconds to be soaked up. Van der Sar missed it and it came off the head of Kankan. Now Giselle again delivers. That's a great ball. Bovalina somehow denied miraculously by Ryan Scott, and Giuseppe Bovalina can't quite believe it.
Well, neither can I, Robbie. I don't know about you. How Ryan Scott stopped this. He's reacted really nicely. I mean, obviously it's had to go within close range of the keeper, but you still got to react.
Might even have just come off the crossbar on its way forward. Now, again, Wallen there. Well, Newcastle have survived. And can they make the most of it now? Drozos has won the throw. At least there will be stoppage time. Well, there is the Paramount Plus player index, and for the moment it's the match winner, Luka Jovanovic, who's been outstanding off the bench. Ryan Scott just illustrated by that miraculous save to deny Bovalina. Delianov and his clean sheet at the moment at the other end. As here's Moragas. He has also featured in the votes this evening. James Delianov desperately looking for that first clean sheet for him this season. But there'll still be work to do. Moragas has done wonderfully well. Desperation to keep that alive.
Hasn't he had a game tonight, Moragas? It's a searching ball from Natter. Plenty to do for Moragas, and he's up to it. Javi Lopez, very cool on the back post, just bouncing the ball out for the corner. Adelaide to defend again. Newcastle coming home strongly.
And we're going to have 7 minutes of stoppage time. to be added on. Moragas with the corner, he helped earn. Cleared by Jovanovic and then blazed over by Costa-Grozos. Delinov again with just the 10 shots to deal with and only 3 of those on target against 8 at the other end for Ryan Scott. He's seeing Adelaide's expected goals. They should have had probably 3 or 4 looking at that. Aaron Kunda hit the post in the first half as well, and Ryan Scott's made a couple of really miraculous saves. Now, Bahaja blocked by Warland. Stoppage time has begun. It's another one for Newcastle, who are chasing the game. Adelaide undefeated when scoring first, but tonight's just the 7th time they've managed that this season. The fewest of any side in the competition. Moragas' ball in, Delinov comes. That's a strong punch over Archie Goodwin. Moragas again. And again, it's too close to Delinov. Both these sides have underscored their XG this evening, and both sides have underscored their XG this season. In fact, Newcastle Jets have underscored their XG by 5 entire goals. Only Western United have managed to do worse than that. Western United's goal tally compared to his XG is -9.2. As Giselle takes over, free kick in favour of Bayliss.
So, quick question without notice, Robbie. 20 games into a season, at what point does the XG take the hint
that the team are just
That's right.
not interested?
I mean, how much more of a database do you need to generate after 20 games?
To know that you can't put away the chances.
The XG is like a dog with a bone, isn't it? These teams will score these many goals.
Natta. Archie Goodwin. Cleared by Bovalina.
Well, it's a brave finish from Newcastle. Given everything that the players have to pretend isn't happening around their campaign with the off-field stuff, they're just playing with a real belief they can get something out of this.
Brave or foolhardy, because there's still 4 minutes left. As the ball to the back post, Ryan Scott! Well, it was almost incredibly brave, and he knows he perhaps should have done better.
A diving header as well. Oh, it's there for him. Well, he's done his job at the other end of the field. He's not in the dock for the goal they conceded. And he saved plenty of others. And then nearly with the equaliser.
was there, wasn't it? The moment to write your name up in lights.
It's going to be playing on loop in his mind for a while.
This season, he's played more than 50%. In fact, it's this evening that he's played the game that tilts the balance in his favour. More than 50% of his entire career appearances have come this season now for Ryan Scott. It's been a good season for him. After a slow start, he's made some outstanding saves this evening and almost capped it off with a goal. That might just have exploded the Paramount Plus player ratings. Isaias. Strong challenge with Moragas, who... Now, is that Moragas? Has gone into the book for a yellow. He thought it was a free kick against Isaias. He's got cramp. Well, no doubt it's a foul by Moragas, but another player into the book. He joins Aquilina and Ingham for the blue and gold. Bovalina heading for the corner flag. Bayliss coming to help out, and it's been given as a corner.
Oh, definitely. Lockie Bayliss, great effort, but he definitely kicked that out for what should have been a corner.
Now Ingham, we're into the last 60 seconds. The Jets need it up the other end. Referee Daniel Elder has a look at the watch. Natta, it's a good ball. Great header down from Bahaja as well for Archie Goodwin, who was in an offside position. It wouldn't have counted. And by the time Adelaide find a football to get going again, the 7 minutes might just be up. And there was the call. The 7 minutes of stoppage time have elapsed. The Adelaide fans are enjoying this moment. And that it is full time. The whistle from Daniel Elder. And perhaps Adelaide's season is still alive, courtesy of Luka Jovanovic's only goal of the game, 10 minutes from time. A heroic performance from Ryan Scott, including almost a chance to equalise. Deep in stoppage time from a corner. Wasn't enough. It's a first clean sheet since week 2 of the season for Adelaide, and a first this season for their goalkeeper James Delianov. They have ended that run of 7 without victory. Carl Viet's side. They climb up above Perth Glory provisionally into 9th place. And perhaps, just perhaps, they still have something to play for this season. Their great record over Newcastle in recent years continues as well. Undefeated since 2017. They've defeated the Jets, courtesy of Jovanovic, by 1-0. Well, those travelling supporters get their reward for the trip to Newcastle. We saw plenty of Melbourne victory in Adelaide last weekend, and now Adelaide finally get that win. Let's head down to Ben Homer, who's with the match winner, Luka Jovanovic.
Thank you, Robbie. Luka, what does that win mean to Adelaide? First 3 points since January.
Yeah, we've been in a bit of a rough patch, but I feel like we've been really unlucky, and today the luck wasn't on our side for the first half, but we got there in the end, so it's good.
What were the key processes that Carl wanted you to nail tonight?
Just not letting him play out the back, and he was looking for a lot of forward runs and behind, and I feel like we did that well.
Just moving forward from here, I know it's going to be a tough run home to get yourself into the finals. What are the keys to get yourself there?
I think we just, as a team, we need to have belief, and we've been playing well the last couple of weeks, just the luck's not been on our side. So I think hopefully our luck will turn now, and that's all we need, really.
And just your form this season, you've obviously scored quite a few goals. How are you feeling about your own form this season?
I think it was pretty average for the first half of the season, but I'm happy with how I've played the last 5-6 games. So I think if I just keep it up like that, I'll score a couple more goals.
Final one for you, your celebration. I know you've explained it before, but for those who haven't known about it, can you just tell us a bit about that?
So one of my favourite strikers, obviously from where I'm from, Serbia, Mitrovic, and that's his signature celebration. So I scored a couple of years ago in the NPL one time, and I did it, and ever since then it's just come out every time I've scored.
Well, Luca, I hope we get to see it plenty more times. Congratulations on the goal and the win.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's Luka Jovanovic. We're going to bring in Ryan Scott, the Newcastle Jets goalkeeper. Ryan, thank you so much for having a chat. I know it's a heartbreaking one tonight. What are your first thoughts coming out of that one?
Oh, not good enough from us. It's been the theme of the season. We didn't create enough again. We're playing at home. Last few weeks, not creating enough chances. Yeah, same old story, unfortunately, this season.
Last week against Perth, so many chances created in that first 45 minutes. What is the reason you feel that it's not being replicated consistently?
I don't know. I think at the start of the season, we seem to be creating plenty every game. I don't know if it's a confidence issue. Obviously, we haven't won in I think 7 or 8 now. But you know, it gets tough this time of year. You know, when you're sort of off the pace of finals, you know, you've got to grind each week. They were desperate tonight away from home. They were better than us. I think they deserved the win, which is disappointing. Our fans and members come out, and we've let them down today.
Ryan, I know the easy answer is that it's not affecting you, the ownership issues, the financial issues. But honestly, how much of an impact does it have on the side, especially considering the workload that has to be taken on by the staff as well?
Yeah, look, it's tough. You know, we thought we were close a few weeks ago or a couple of months ago. Didn't come through. I'm not sure if it's still in the equation or not. But look, it's not an excuse for us. But yeah, obviously, for me, Newcastle gave me an opportunity. I haven't played for 2 years. I want to go forward with this club. It's hard when we obviously don't have that stability. It's what we want. It's what we need. You know, we need to, you know, lift our standards. We want to be spending more money. We want to be, you know, being the best team. You know, the Newcastle people come out each week. They're passionate people. They deserve more. Hopefully it gets sorted out in the background, but it's out of our control, so we can't let it affect us.
I just want to finish on a positive. That chance, I know you're disappointed not to finish it, but you came so close to just being the second goalkeeper to score in the A-League. What was going through your head in that moment?
A couple of fans telling me to get up there. I think there was one at 90 minutes. I thought it was a bit early, and then, yeah, tried to get the crowd revved up when I was heading up there, and I went at the back post, and it almost wet myself because here it is, it's coming. Used to be bread and butter in under 16s when I used to play up front, but yeah, I should have scored. It's probably our best chance tonight, and I'm the goalkeeper.
Ryan, congratulations on a wonderful performance and a wonderful season you're having, and commiserations on the defeat.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, Ryan. Cheers.
Yeah, I can hear. You're saying yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. All good.
Can we turn it up a bit, or?
How's the level? Is the level good?
Yeah, that was good, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna rise up.